To pass along my thanks to Stacy Slocum and Bethsaida Melendez for their um, expertise and moving this forward so quickly. So I really appreciate their collaboration as well. So, Daily Pass for employees. This is what we're going to talk about today. What is the Fisher Daily Pass? Where does my information go? What are the expectations of me as an employee? What are the expectations of me as a supervisor? What does it look like? So we'll share some screenshots. And then what are we asking the students to do? So if you have any questions in those areas, hopefully they will be answered. And if not, put them in the chat. So what's the Fisher Daily Pass? We have partnered for a lot of things with Rochester Regional Health over the summer, both educational things and resource things. And one of those things is the Fisher Daily Pass. It's a screening tool. It's not a go straight to jail card. It is a screening tool. It is a do you have symptoms? Have you been in any hot zones? So it is web based. It's not an app. It is, I'm looking at you, Matha. It is accessible on all mobile devices, on a desktop, on your iPad, not on a flip phone. That was a question yesterday. Anything that's web-based, you can use the Daily Pass on. And we're doing this because New York State requires that we screen all employees daily. So that's where the why of this came from. So, next slide. Expectations of employees are that full-time employees do it every day. Whether or not you're coming to campus, unless you are full-time work from home or are on vacation. I don't expect people to fill that out when they are taking time off from work. If you are an adjunct faculty member, if you are a part-time person, if you have a different kind of work schedule than the sort of norm, you should talk to your supervisor about what your responsibilities will be. What does it ask? So the first question it asks is, are you coming to campus today? If you are not coming to campus, you hit not coming to campus, and then you're done. Nothing else that you need to do. If you are coming to campus, the questions include things about symptom screening, all the things that we're used to asking now, and answering about chills and fever and cough. The secret key to all of this is, are they new or unusual? I don't need to know allergies. We don't need to know, I stayed up too late last night and now I have a headache. We need to know if you have anything that's new or unusual for you. And I'll tell you who the we is after that. If you've been exposed to someone with COVID, if you have tested positive for COVID, or if you have gone to any of the hot spots that New York State has said, don't go to these areas or you'll have to quarantine. Those are all questions in the app. So you're filling out this app. What happens? You will get a green go, a red stop, or a blue thank you. The green go means you're cool, come to campus, good job, see you soon. The blue means thanks for letting us know you won't be on campus today. And that's also really, really helpful for the supervisors because then they don't have to follow up with you. That's why we're doing the I won't be on campus today, is because there's no other way for us to memorize every student, faculty, staff schedule to know when we should or shouldn't follow up with you. So we're really only going to follow up if you don't do your pass or if you have a red pass. So the red stop is I can't come to campus, and you have to call your supervisor and let them know what's going on until you can get cleared to come back. Or you made a mistake and you answered something and then you can rescreen. So we'll talk about that as well. So where does this information go? I think one of the most important things to take away from this, other than you have to do it every day, is that the college is not getting your health history. We're partnering with Rochester Regional because they're going to hold on to your medical stuff. We're not going to know that stuff. We'll know if you've done your pass. We'll know what the outcome of the pass is, but we're not going to see your symptoms. Okay. And when I say we, these are the people I mean. HR will get the name of anyone who has a red pass because they're going to need to follow up with you to tell you about what kind of time you can take off if you get time off, what you'll have to do for quarantine, how can we support you. So they're going to make that supportive, I see you got a red pass, how can we help kind of call. Supervisors will get a list of all of the people that they supervise, along with if the pass is green, blue, red, or blank. And then there's some follow-ups to do. So they're not getting symptom information, they're just getting the status of your pass. And they're really responsible for the compliance piece. So New York State says we have to do this. Someone has to follow up on all of them. It's the supervisors that will be looking for compliance. Okay. So for supervisors, every day, just once a day, you'll get a list of your people. You should follow up with anyone who has a stop that you don't know about. So for me, if someone on my team registers a stop, the instructions are call your supervisors when you get that stop pass to tell them you can't come in. So if I see that Derek Weigel has a stop and Derek Weigel hasn't called me yet, he's my first call. Are you okay? What's going on? Okay. The second follow-up is you didn't fill out your pass. So I get my list of people. I have yet to hear from Miss Amanda. I will call her and say, what's up? Are you okay? And we'll go from there. Okay. If you know the employee's on vacation, if they're not available, if they have the day off, you can skip them. That is totally in the supervisor's purview. You just need to be knowledgeable about where they are. If they're going to be on campus, they need to do their pass. If you know that they're on an excursion to Alaska, then you can skip them. Okay. If a supervisor finds that the employee is consistently not doing their pass, the remediation step is really whatever you would do as a supervisor for any other sort of job expectation failure. So however you would remediate that. Is it someone who would need to go on a performance program? Is it something you just note for their next evaluation? Is it something, so however you would typically remediate that, that's what you'll do for the pass slacker. Okay, so let's look at it. When you log in, there'll be two buttons. This one says location check-in. I don't know if you can see me doing this. This one says location. Oh yeah, thanks. Location check-in. That's not for you. That's just for the students. We're asking the students to log where they are in case of them needing to be contacted by contact tracers. We want you to be mindful of where you are on campus, but we're assuming that the students are around and about in more places than you, and that we probably have a better likelihood of remembering where we were during the day. So you'll start your assessment. It'll be on This Is the website for the Daily Pass. I almost said app. It's not an app. The first question, will you be spending any time on campus today? Yes or no? If you say no, you're done. Done. You say no, you get a blue pass. Right now it's not blue, but it's going to be blue by the time it's real. This will be blue. It'll have your name, the date, you're not coming. If something happens and you need to come to campus, you rescreen. You choose, yes, I am coming to campus, and then you have to answer all the questions. Okay. Blue pass says thank you, means you're staying home or away from campus. The questions, we talked about this new and unusual symptoms. That's the important part. New and unusual. Loss of taste or smell, chills or a fever, sore throat. Do you feel like you're coming down with a sickness? Any headache, eye pain, cough, change in your cough, shortness of breath, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, anything new congestion-wise. All of those are the symptom sort of questions. Since your last screening or in the last 24 hours, have you been near someone who you know has gotten COVID? Or have you yourself tested positive for COVID? And then the last question talks about, have you gone to any of the restricted areas? If you get a stop pass, it will say stop, name, date, don't come to campus. Contact your supervisor to report your absence. Visit the HR link. This is still in progress. The HR link for further instruction, and contact a health provider as necessary. When you go to the HR webpage, it's going to talk about time away. It's going to talk about how to document your time. It's going to talk about, do you need these medical resources? The county health department, the New York State COVID hotline. Do you need to go somewhere and get a test? You would call the New York State hotline for that. Any travel advisory and self-quarantine information. All of that will be on the HR website. The employee pass renews, it resets every 24 hours. It's different for students. Once they test red, once they get a stop pass, they can't do it again. They need someone to check with them. The wellness center is the clearer of their pass, but ours as employees resets every day. Okay. You could also get a go pass. You're good to go. Wash your hands, wear a mask, 6 feet. Have a great day. Okay. Move about the campus. This happens every 24 hours, resets. And if you need to do it again, you can. So, what about students? Students are also completing the daily pass. Their process is really similar to employees, but it's being monitored by the Health and Wellness Center. We'll have some care coordinators, we'll have the practitioners and the medical personnel all working with students if they have a red pass, or if they're not filling out their pass. That's where the questions will come from. Students are being instructed that they should be prepared to show their pass upon request. And I know that this was a question yesterday. We didn't want to say it's mandatory for everyone to ask to see the pass in class. I think it's an awesome idea. If it was up to me, we would say it's mandatory, but we don't like to say it's mandatory, and we like to give you freedom. So in class, you are more than welcome to ask to see that pass. If you are in the library, you can ask to see the pass. Students should be prepared to show it to you at all times. The dining hall might ask to see a pass. The residence halls will certainly ask to see a pass. We just want to make sure that students are ready to show us that information. I'm also going to show students my pass because I feel like that's fair. They're also as nervous as we are about them. Okay, so maybe it can be a communal sort of show me your pass. Faculty and staff won't receive student medical information. Much like this isn't a go straight to jail card, this isn't a on-demand student medical information system. This is a pass to come to campus. There's nothing that alerts, boop, boop, so-and-so is red, and then an alarm goes off. That's not how it works. We'll get a list of students, but it's really the student contacting the health center is the next step after they test red. If the student needs to be quarantined or isolated, the Wellness Center will put a flag in Fisher Link. That's how you'll know that the student's going to be out of your class. There was also a question about what if that means, does that mean I've been exposed as a faculty or staff member? It doesn't. It means that the student's going to be absent from class. They'll be evaluated for where they've been and who's been in their proximity. We're really looking at who's been within 6 feet without a mask for more than 10 minutes. And that's the person we're going to start with to say, you're going to need to quarantine. You have been exposed. So again, it's distance, time, and masking that we're looking at. Okay, so if anyone on campus has been exposed to anyone in such a way that we need to talk to them, it's really the health department and the contact tracers that are following up. So the only way that you will get information that pertains to you is from the health department or from the contact tracers. So if you personally need to do something because you may have been exposed, that's the way you find out, not through the Daily app. Okay. So we've come to the question portion of today's pass. So quick. So quick. I'm a fast talker.
Thanks, Terry. We don't have too many questions, so hopefully we'll be able to get through them.
Maybe we'll get some more.
Yeah.
All right.
So there was a question about Monday to Friday employees. They just do a not coming to campus on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
That's correct. Is there guidance for supervisors of part-time employees on what non-7-day plan of reporting should entail?
We're leaving this really sort of up to you. I think that asking someone who comes in to teach one class a week is sort of extreme to ask them to do this 7 times for that one day. So it's really whatever you as the supervisor of that person feel comfortable with, to know that you're complying with the directive of employees who are on campus that day need to have done this. I don't know if that makes sense. Is that, shoot another message in the chat if that doesn't make sense.
So we really do want this to be manageable. We don't want this to be all-consuming. So we talked about this question a lot, and we went back and forth on where we landed. So we wanted to allow some flexibility for the supervisors who are monitoring compliance.
And you know your people best, and you know their schedules best.
Right. So certainly, if you're coming to campus, that isn't part of the conversation. If you're coming to campus, you have to complete the daily pass within 2 hours before you come to campus. So that I just want to be clear, that's not part of the conversation of what a part-time or adjunct faculty member will be doing before you come to campus. You have to complete it within 2 hours. But it's really if you're not going to be on campus, do you want them to let you know that by saying, I'll not be on campus today? Or are you okay knowing that Tuesday is the only day that Terry will be on campus? So that's why we're trying to give you some flexibility. And it really will depend on, is this person on campus 4 days a week or 1 day a week, and how many people are you monitoring as a supervisor? So we just really wanted to give you that flexibility. So I hope that gives you enough information, but the flexibility to do what you need to do with your supervisees. So Jim asked, at what point in the day will we be getting the list?
Right now, we've asked for it by noon, recognizing that not everyone's an 8 to 4 person. If that doesn't work for us, it's like everything else. We're going to try it, and if that's not a time that is working for everyone, we'll see what we can get sooner, or see what we can get later.
And again, I want to add, this isn't something that you need to be monitoring every hour on the day. Look, you need to look at it once a day just to make sure folks are in compliance. Does it have to be a phone call if you contact someone if there's a question about their daily pass? I think that's up to you. Whatever you're most comfortable with, you just need to connect with the person that day. You can't let it go for very long. So however you want to do that, but contact does need to take place that day. To confirm, we're expected to fill it out Saturday and Sunday, but if we don't, our supervisor won't follow up with us.
So I think that goes to, that's not a work day. So we're asking you to do Saturdays and Sundays because so many of us do work on Saturdays and Sundays. So lucky you, number one. And number two, as a supervisor, I would think that you would know who has to work on Saturdays and Sundays. So I don't intend to call my staff if they're not supposed to be on campus on a Saturday and Sunday, if that's helpful. And then to the time of day these are due by is really within 2 hours of coming to campus. We're asking you to do that. So some parent last night said, my child jogs at 6 a.m. I was like, introduce me to that person, because I don't believe it, number one. And number two, are they expected to do their pass at 4 a.m.? Nope, they can just do it as they're leaving their door.
It really is within that 2 hour period. If you're not coming to campus, we would ask you to let us know that before noon, because that is when we would be reviewing the compliance information. So I'm trying to remember yesterday. I know we've asked our residential students to answer it by 10. I'm trying to remember what we said to employees who are not coming to campus for the day.
We said by noon.
By noon, okay.
Mm-hmm.
A link? There's a question about a link. So you will be receiving emails for the first month, and it will have a link.
It will also be in the portal. It's going to be a single sign-on, so once you're signed into the home at sjfc.edu or the My SJFC, you'll be logged into this as well. Is it different for supervisors of student workers? Yeah, you don't need to do anything with students. All student information will be supervised by the Health and Wellness Center. So they would call you to say, I can't come to work today, but that would be your only indication. Okay,
So if I'm a supervisor and one of my employees gets to stop and I have to follow up with them and ask what's going on, are you okay? What kind of answer am I looking for from someone without having to press for details about how they are feeling? I think that would be the same thing you would do pre-COVID. A lot of this, if pre-COVID, if I was sick and I wasn't coming to work, I would need to let my supervisor know. And so that's the same as in this situation. So however you would manage that before pre-COVID is what you would do now.
And you don't need to reach out to them if they've already sent you something saying, I'm not coming to work today. You're only checking if you have not heard from them and they said they were red, or if you have not heard from them at all. Okay.
How would I I'm sorry. Do you want to do it, Terry? Or do you want
No,
me?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You got it.
How would I show people my pass if I don't have the appropriate mobile technology? You can print your pass. If you on the pass, there are 3 tabs, and the last tab is your pass for the day. So you can print that, and you can keep that with you if you didn't have a mobile device to keep it on. Can you confirm that faculty will not be alerted outside of the Fisher Link flag if one of their students needs to be quarantined? The only way you would learn about that outside of Fisher Link is if the contact tracers believe that you had had a possible exposure.
Or if they tell you themselves.
Or they could tell you. And actually, the contact tracer is not going to tell you the name of the student either. So I take that back. It really would be only through Fisher Link. Or they can tell you.
What does a person show when they show their pass? So when you saw the pictures of the pass, where it says go, and then wash your hands and do all the things, that's what we're looking for, is the green go. So there are no symptoms on there. There's no medical stuff on there. It's the date, your name, and the go.
And again, that's the third, there are 3 tabs. And so that's the tab to the far right. You just press on that and that's your pass for the day. Is there a certain time for students and employees that need to, the pass needs to be completed by? I think we've answered that one. So by noon if you're not coming to campus, within 2 hours if you are coming to campus. In terms of Fisher Link flag, if a student needs to quarantine, does an email go out to the faculty automatically, or does the faculty member have to sign in to look at the information?
I think this is one of the flags that you get an alert that there's a flag, but I will double check that with CCAP. And
that was
Michelle,
spring. So yeah.
Michelle, if you're on.
Yeah. Can
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to write it really fast in the group chat. Yeah, it's one that it's an email will go to the affected people to alert them that this has been put into Fisher Link.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we supposed to monitor over the weekend as well? If you have employees who are coming to work on the weekend, we would ask you to take a look and make sure it's okay. It is important that people are being compliant with whatever day they're working.
Right. And if that changes who you have monitoring in your department and you need to add someone else, just let us know and we can get that report to the right person.
Good point. Can you talk about visitors, guest lecturers, residents? What do they need to come to campus?
Mm-hmm. So they need not to do this. They need to do the visitor screening with security. So if you are sponsoring someone to come to campus for a guest lecture, or really that's the only approval part, so sort of an academic guest or a maybe they're a panelist, maybe. So anyone that's an essential guest, they would need to go through the safety and security office, and you would need to meet them there. And they'll get screened at security, but that's part of the visitors and guest policy.
So you can give us guidance on how supervisors should best make the determination about how to comply with this directive. If you're having questions, I would encourage you to talk to your dean, your VP, if you're wondering how, because I believe you also asked the question about just giving some guidance on part-time. So I would encourage you to talk to your dean or VP if you're wondering how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Jill, will the report be only the one time per day, or is it something we as supervisors can request or generate? It'll be one time a day. What's the training plan for faculty? So we did review this yesterday. I hope that faculty are attending the campus conversations. There will be information on our reopening page, and it's pretty intuitive. So I mean, I'm doing the Rock COVID, and I didn't have to attend a training to understand how to do Rock COVID every day. So I do think it's pretty intuitive. We did feel like as supervisors, the folks who are monitoring compliance, you need to have a different understanding, but just to use it, I'm not sure there needs to be training. It's one of the policies of campus. I think we talked about it at the campus conversation. And again, the information is online, and then this training would be available as well. But if that's something, Carol, that you think we need to do, we can do another training for faculty on how to use the Daily Pass. Happy to do that.
And there's certainly faculty on this call today as well.
If no health-related questions are asked on non-work days, why is reporting on non-work days mandatory? So the point of reporting on non-work days is really for the tracking regarding compliance. Again, we went around and around about the best way to do this. And so that supervisors, if you are monitoring a long list of folks, you might not know, particularly in some of our offices, I know in student affairs, we're rotating on the second floor of the campus center. So for those of us who are monitoring compliance, it really makes it much more simple. So this was a question that went through the task force. And we felt that this was the best answer. Terry, I don't know if you would add anything to that.
I don't know that I would, other than as we go, if it becomes a hardship or we see that something weird is happening, we would reevaluate.
If someone does not come to campus till 4 p.m. and they fill it out at 2 p.m., they will not be on the report. How will we see their report responses, ask to see their pass upon arrival?
Yep, you could ask to see their pass upon arrival, or you'll see them in the next day's report. You'll get the report of the 24-hour period.
Again, I want to reiterate what Terry said at the beginning. The point of the Daily Pass, it's not the COVID police. The point of the Daily Pass is really for all of us to think about, is it safe for me to come to campus today? That's the point of it. We do have to ensure that employees are compliant with answering the Daily Pass before they come to campus, but we're really expecting folks to be responsible. So I would expect whether we had a Daily Pass or not, if you are not well and shouldn't be on campus, you shouldn't come to campus. So the point of the monitoring every day beginning at noon is really about compliance. And it's not a gatekeeper to keep people from coming to campus if they shouldn't be on campus. Knowing how people respond to reminders, is there a reason to not continue the reminder indefinitely? Well, I agree. But we also know how many emails we receive every day. So we're going to start with a month. We're going to have it on the portal. We're going to have signage everywhere around the parking lots. And if folks are not being compliant, then you might continue to get a daily reminder in your email. So that's
a fine balance between reminders and being annoying. And so that's what we're trying to find.
Always. Okay. To clarify, is official link notification via email, or do you have to sign into official link to see it? Ignore my last question, you're answering it now. Okay. Are you expected to keep their pass tab on their device open? Will it time out? I'm not sure about timing out. I don't think they need to keep it.
It does time out. I think you can always, you go to that last tab on the page and it scales to your phone. So there'll be 3 buttons and you can show the pass for the day.
And Mary, it's not going to eventually be an app. This is a form that was developed by Rochester Regional. It's what they're using on their campus, and so it's what we'll be using on our campus.
But you can save it to your phone. I don't know all the technical words, but I know that I have some websites saved on my phone, so I could just press and maybe go to Amazon, wherever I'm going on my phone. So I would save it there. In my favorites, is that what I'm hearing? Maybe in my favorites is where you would save it so it would show up on your phone, like it look like an app.
And I really appreciate this last question in terms of keeping a daily report. Yes, so please do keep a report of the compliance of your supervisees, because this will be one of our indicators on campus in terms of how we're doing. So we will be asking you to document the information, and we will be asking for that information regularly. Since this is a tool to help us determine if we are healthy and able to come to campus, the 2-hour time frame that we are asking people to complete this by may mean that they are already on campus when they fill this out.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't be already on campus when you're when you're completing it. You should complete it within 2 hours before coming to campus. If you're on campus and you begin to not feel well, then we would ask you to leave. You could certainly change your daily pass information at that point to alert folks. But regardless of the daily pass, if you start to not feel well, you should leave campus. Did I answer that question? Is that?
There could maybe be a case where a student is walking towards class while they're filling it out. I mean, they might have left their room on their way to class, because as much as we think that they get up at 4 a.m. to jog, they're rolling out and coming to class, right? So they were probably going to be pressing those buttons in some cases. But again, it goes back to they are filling it out. We will get that information. If they get red, they should turn themselves around and go back to their rooms.
If an employee thinks they have a cold, what might generate a stop on the pass? Do they need to stay home? Yes, you should check with your primary care provider to determine next steps, because a lot of the symptoms of a cold are the same as COVID. So we would ask you to work with your primary care physician.
And we're looking for new and unusual, though. I would say that too. So this whole allergy season, I don't know if everyone, every time they sneeze like me, thinks, oh my God, I have COVID. But new and unusual. And you don't need a test to come back. You need to talk to a doctor or get some guidance from them. I just want to be clear that we're not asking you to go get a test if you have a cold and come back and show it to us. We want you to take care of yourself and call your doctor if you need to, and not come to campus.
I'm still a little unsure of what the role of student supervisors is with respect to the daily pass.
It's to do nothing. You do nothing. As a student supervisor, you don't have any obligations with the students. If it's a student, the Wellness Center is supervising them in their app or in their pass, not an app. Yes, pass. It's possible that you were asked to be here, because if you only supervise students and you're here, then that's how you got here.
Is there a standard record keeping platform? For example, do you need it formatted with a Google Doc? That's a great question, and we need to figure that out. So we will let you know if there's a standard record keeping platform. Very, very good question, Carrie. So thank you.
And to the record keeping part, the important part for supervisors to keep is your conversation with people who aren't doing the pass. Right, we're going to have the data of who did the pass and who didn't do the pass, but it's really what the answer is to why they aren't doing the pass, or keeping track of how many times you're having to call the same person too. That's the important part of it. I just want to jump back to Kate's question too. As a student supervisor, you can ask to see their pass. I don't know if that's the question. If you wanted, they're coming to work and you want to see their pass, cool. But there's no obligation for you to follow up on their pass or to monitor their compliance with a pass. They're getting monitored as a student. So I don't know if that's helpful.
They should contact their student supervisor though.
Yes.
Correct. If they
About
are
not being able to
stopped.
come to work.
Yep. Absolutely. But again, there's no obligation to the pass by a student supervisor.
And so I am sorry if you supervise students only and you were invited to this. I'm
not. It's nice to see you.
We asked, well, if you had better things to do, but we did ask for a list of supervisors.
Better than this?
So that So glad you're here. I hope it was helpful. Is a report an Excel report that they'll receive daily?
I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's Excel. The first thing they were doing is getting the pass up and running. I have a meeting today at 4 with Beth Zaida to talk about the report. I asked her if we could have a screenshot of what that would look like for today, and it's not ready yet. So,
Oh, yes, it will be Excel.
oh, you're so cool, Beth Zaida. Thank you.
How are the students being monitored if they don't complete the pass? So our Health and Wellness Center will be monitoring our students, both if they have a stop or if they are out of compliance.
And this is where I turn to faculty and staff too to say we're part of that solution, right? They will get a report in wellness, but they have 4 people. And so if you have a class of 15, you can say, hey, show me your pass. That will be helpful to helping us remind students to do that and to get them used to showing it and being accountable to it.
So we should be implementing the daily pass within the next couple of days. Most employees will be returning to campus on the 17th, so it is certainly our goal to have it in place by then. We will be signing the contract today. We did finally receive the final contract from Rochester Regional, so our hope is that we can implement this as soon as we're able to send it back to them. So we're making progress. So in the next couple of days, we will implement the daily pass.
Yes, it is on our site. It's just in a testing phase. So you could go look at it. It's just not really going anywhere. But thanks, Jim. You personally, Renee Morano, will be calling every student. Now we're working on with the care coordinators and the schedules and all of those things. So that will be coming out of health and wellness, but it will be more of a care coordinator sort of monitoring.
So any other questions? I think we have answered them all.
There's a question about the website.
Oh,
It's my,
might have been a private.
I can't keep track of all that. dailypass.sjfc.edu.
So if you have additional questions, there is an ability to ask us questions through the reopening website, but also, you can always email myself or Terry, and we'll be happy to answer any questions about the Daily Pass. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for all the things that you're going to be doing to help us reopen safely. I really appreciate it. And thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Everyone take good care.
Bye, everybody.